Hola a todos. Como pueden ver, ya terminé de calificar la primera parte de 3 del examen 2. So here's my feedback. First of all, for this reading assessment, I wanted to try to mix something that had proven to be like really great in my previous semesters with what you have done so far. So we're talking about travel. In my previous semesters, Medellin was basically the main city to travel during the whole semester, and all the examples and the assessments and even a presentation was made about that. This semester we're doing a different approach to in-class presentations, so that's the reason why you came to know about Medellin, my hometown, just until now. So now, first of all, my strategy was to give you a text that was demanding, but at the same time easy to read. So that's why I got this piece of romance about the city. It's a little cheesy, and I like deliberately chose it to be cheesy because there were like the final question was very much related to that. So without further ado, let me tell you a little thing about how I graded this part. You all know what a main idea is. You all know how I grade it. I don't think any of you get less than 4 points there because it was very simple to establish what the main idea of the text was basically talking about Medellin as a touristic destination and talking about how beautiful it is, a city to dream, poetry, etc., etc., etc. The keyword recognition, again, something very simple. We had 10 words, and it was mainly successful. What I saw here, it was a one-to-one penalization. I think this one is kind of rational. In the supporting details, though, there were only 4 correct sentences or 4 correct ideas out of 8. Again, as it what had happened with the previous assignment that we have with a question like this one is the penalization is really severe, so I returned fudge points for error because it was doing also one to one, and I thought it was a little bit unfair, so it was 1 to 1.5. So some of you got 0.5 in addition, or 1 or 1.5, depending on the wrong answers that you checked. Let's see. Meaning from context, this was one-on-one penalization as well. You're going to see the right answers tomorrow when they show up on Canvas. Let me know if you have any questions about them. Some of you fell for the false cognate. Careful with that, especially for the final exam. Could be some of them there. And then there's the 2 open questions I gave you. First, ¿qué ciudad de los Estados Unidos crees que sea similar a Medellín? ¿Por qué? Notice that ¿qué ciudad de los Estados Unidos crees tú que sea la ciudad? So, although I was a little bit flexible about the structure here, I was pointing here for you to answer this question using the subjunctive. Some of you did, some of you didn't, and this was graded most on how substantious the ideas were. I know that for some of you, in a lot of cases, you just need to be quick. So, short answers, addressing both points of the question, like ¿qué ciudad de los Estados Unidos? And then ¿por qué? Got full credit. Okay? The following question was somehow a little bit more meant to create like a critical reading of the text. ¿Qué tipo de imagen quiere mostrar este artículo? ¿Crees que esta sea una imagen convincente, de Medellin. The answers were across the board. Some of you were like so convinced that actually included wanting to go there in your answers. Some of you were neutral. Just a few of you said I don't trust this text because it's too perfect to be true. That's exactly the answer I was looking for, but feel free to tell me how you exactly felt, and that's actually the grading. This was also flexible as long as all the aspects of the question were addressed. Okay, some additional thoughts that come to my mind when talking about this. First, Narcos is not a good piece of history of the city. It's fictionalized, exaggerated ad nauseam. So, and it happened 30 years ago, so probably that's not your best source to find information about Medellin. It's also a really crappy show, like no Emmy nominations whatsoever. That's how bad it is. Or Golden Globe nominations. The other thing is, it's a city of almost 5 million inhabitants in the middle of the mountains. So the fact that some of you thought that it had beaches or that it was a village just because it's called La Bella Villa, not a very appropriate reading of this text right there. Other than that, I think it was a very self-explanatory and very easy part of your assessment, and I think most of your grades, like almost all of your grades, should be a reflection of that. Okay, I'm going to keep on grading, and I'll post a second video for the second part and a third video for the third part. Okay, see you soon.